Okay, so now that everyone's logged on, we'll get started. Just as a reminder, the chat is below, so if you haven't already, put where you're from, and if you ever applied to the Accessible Vehicle Fund before, that would be great. So my name is Julia Claire. We have Alexa Tinsley here. So I will be your go-to person with any questions for the application process. And if you're accepted into the program, we have our whole team behind you to assist you in fundraising and the coordination and delivery of your vehicle. We're here for you every step of the way. And then Alexa oversees the Jett Giving Fund program is here to lead support if need be. And this is our lovely team members at Jett Foundation. So they're going to be here as well to help you along your journey through the Accessible Vehicle Fund process.
So as Julie said, go back one slide, Julie. These are some of the people that you might see during your time, either in the application process or if you're accepted into our program. This is our entire team, but there are some key players that you'll see when accepted, but also throughout the time in the Accessible Vehicle Program. So Eric Snyder is our executive director. We have Zach Bentley, who is our marketing and communications manager, Emily, development events manager, Jessica Campbell, who is our social worker, Maura Carroll, our director of development. Allison, you won't see as much, but she's our director of finance. Gabby Costa, she's our director of marketing and communications. Megan Houston is one of our Camp Promise directors, and Nikki Benfield as well. And then Trina Stelly, who is our resource specialist for the female population. So the ones that you'll see most often in your time in the accessible vehicle application process, but throughout their entire journey, would be myself, Julie, Eric, Zach, and Gabby. And Maura as well. She'll be involved as well. So go ahead, next slide. So for those of you who may not be familiar with what we do at Jett Foundation, or if you do, we're going to tell you again, but our goal here is to empower individuals and families impacted by Duchenne muscular dystrophy through the development of transformative program, educational opportunities, and ongoing support for every stage of the Duchenne journey. And this is one of our cornerstone programs. So the Jett Giving Fund was started when our founder, Christine McSherry, realized just how many GoFundMe pages there were for families needing accessible vehicles. We know that it is an absolute need and not a want, and there is a huge need within our community. We do also have two other arms of our Jett Giving Fund. We have our equipment assistance program and our emergency fund program. So those are also programs that you can look into. And if you have any questions about that, you can reach out to us separately. But overall, our Jett Giving Fund program has helped transform the lives of countless families across the country. We are nationwide. So we help families across the United States. And since its inauguration in 2017, we've been able to gift over $4.5 million worth of accessible vans, small medical equipment, and emergency assistance.
Okay, so this is our timeline for this year. It's changed a little bit in the past, similar to last year. So our application opens October 28th and it closes December 13th. So I just want to remind everyone that this is a application period of October 28th to December 13th. It's not open all year, so this is the only time you can apply for this program. And this is for our 2025 year, even though you're applying in 2024. So applicants, once we are done reviewing them and going through them, applicants will be notified by January 24th. And if by any means we are late on that day, you will get a notification to your email letting you know that we are delayed in that decision. And then fundraising begins mid-February. So I just wanted to let you know that the earliest that anybody would receive a vehicle once in the program is going to be the second quarter of 2025. And the vehicle delivery depends on the individual's fundraising completion and also how quickly we can work out the logistics as well. So we just want to mention too, if you do need a transit, there could be inventory issues. So that's why we want to look at these as soon as possible, just so we have as much time to look for one. Secondly, let's see. Like I want to repeat again, this is not a rolling application. It's only open just the October 28th to December 13th, and it's for the 2025 year.
So we get a lot of questions about how Jett decides who gets a vehicle. and when they'll be notified. So like Julie says, all applicants will be notified of approval or denial on January 24th, 2025 by 5 p.m. And like she said, if there is any delay, we will let you know by email. So email is primarily how we notify or how we typically communicate with families. So email is important. And if you do apply, please make sure you're checking your email to see if we have any follow-up questions or if there's any information that we may need from you. But how we decide is our accessible vehicle fund is reviewed by a committee of staff, board and committee members, as well as other community members. Each application is actually blinded. So that means that all personal information is actually de-identified. And the committee that's evaluating doesn't have that personal information. So it is a non-biased application process. So the committee actually goes off of a point system and it is based off of need. So they're the ones who are looking at and evaluating those applications. So we go through and make sure that, you know, we're evaluating each family's need, like I just said. But after they review, Jett Foundation leadership will review all of the applications as well and determine acceptances based off of those needs. Once accepted, we will go ahead and give each family an award amount, which is determined based off of the cost of vehicles at the time and what we feel is a realistic goal based off of what the van would cost. So that's how, and like she said, you'll be notified in January 2025. So the Jett Giving Fund application is online. Here is the URL for that, www.jettfoundation.org/jet-giving-fund. Wow, that's a lot of dashes. It is online only. We do not accept physical paper versions of this application. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to us. But it is online only, and the application can be found at that link. You can save and resume at a later time. So there is a save and resume button. You do not have to complete the application all at once. If you have filled out an application, it does not roll over. So you will have to fill the information out again. But again, you don't have to fill it out all at one time. If you are not able to complete your application or if you're having trouble, please reach out to us because we are unable to consider incomplete applications. And we will let you know during the process if your application is incomplete so that you have time to complete it. But if for some reason you're unable to, by the time that the application closes, we will not be able to consider that application. And then if for any reason you need translation assistance during the application process, please reach out to our info@jettfoundation.org or Jett Giving Fund at jettfoundation.org, and we'd be happy to try to find a solution for you.
So this is our eligibility requirements. So this is the overview of the minimum eligibility. So if you look at all of these, this is what you need in order to apply and qualify. So you have to be a citizen residing in the United States. Citizen United States, yep, and reside in the United States. You must provide a letter from your physician verifying Duchenne diagnosis. We'll also accept like IEP, anything that has the individual's name with the diagnosis on it and birthday as well. The application must be completed in full by the December 13th deadline. So that is a hard stop. So if you don't have it by then, unfortunately, you won't be considered for this coming 2025 year. You must commit to fundraising 50% or more of the vehicle. So like Alexa said earlier, we do commit every family that certain award amount. So we'll just take that amount and then cut it in half. And that's what you'll be awarded for. What you'll have to fundraise for or more than that amount. All fundraising efforts must adhere to our fundraising guidelines, which we will talk about. You must demonstrate need. So that's financial need, mobility needs, current day-to-day routine, condition of current vehicle, etc. in your application. Please share in detail how an accessible vehicle will improve the quality of your life for your family. You must exhaust all options from your insurance, including appeals. We also like when families reach out for grants in their local communities or counties as well. And you can also apply those before you apply for the Accessible Vehicle Fund, just to get that going and see if you can be considered. Quotes of the vehicle must be required from the dealer or vendor who is certified. So in this case, certified, you have to have like a certain point inspection. It needs to have the Carfax, and everything must look clean on the vehicle. So we will look into that when the time comes, just to make sure that the vehicle isn't a lemon. And then it must be in need of accessible vehicle only. This fund cannot assist other types of equipment or vehicle loans. Okay, so before you apply, so I was talking
Hey,
about
Julie,
earlier,
I'm
so
gonna one quick thing. So go back real
yeah,
quick for me.
go ahead.
So one of the things that we have here is must have exhausted all options from insurance, including appeals. And I think this bullet point is a little confusing. We did just get a question in about it.
Okay.
You don't need to show insurance denial. We do know that insurance is not going to cover any vehicle. This is really more referring to requests for waivers and things in terms of like within your state, not necessarily through insurance. So sometimes Medicaid waivers will cover conversions, not necessarily the vehicle. And if you do have any questions about waivers and things like that, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to guide you in the right direction. It can be a pretty lengthy process, but that insurance piece is a little confusing. I thought we took it out, but we didn't. So we do understand that insurance is not going to cover these vehicles.
Perfect. Do you want to take the next one too? It says parents or child have to be US citizen. Question mark.
They do, yes, a US citizen and residing in the continental United States.
Yes. And we also require a license as well. So whoever's going to be registered on the vehicle needs to provide their driver's license and all that. So that will be in the application. Okay. So before you apply, okay. So I talked about earlier, there's 3 different vendor quotes. So what we mean by this is you can have 2 quotes from one vendor and 1 quote from the other. So say you get 2 from Mobility Works and 1 from United Access, something like that. It doesn't matter who it's from. We just wanted to point out too that it doesn't have to be an accessible vehicle. It can also be, say, Toyota Sienna, just an individual vehicle, and then you can also get a conversion quote as well. So there are 2 pieces to that. So either you can get one that is currently converted as an accessible vehicle, or just a regular vehicle with a conversion quote with it if you decide to go that route. Let's see. So like I said earlier, we do want it to be a certified vehicle if it is used, so that it is the multi-point inspection. We require a Carfax. We just want to make sure that it is not a lemon. And then we also accept new cars as well. But we want to make sure that if it is a used car, that it's within less than 3 years. So in this case, it would be 2021 to 2024, but next year would be a 2022 to 2025. And we want to make sure it's under 36,000 miles, so it still falls under the warranty. So when you send over these quotes, we want to make sure they're not screenshots. So what we are looking for is a vendor quote, and it'll have the family's name with the address, the vehicle, the VIN number, and everything that identifies that vehicle itself. That way we get as much information as possible, and then how much it costs. So just want to mention again, screenshots, we do not accept those. So they do have to be the full-on PDF as well. If you don't know what vehicle you want at the time, we do have a PDF on our website called Find Your Perfect Vehicle. So this is on our Jett Giving Fund URL page. So this goes and talks about side entry versus rear entry, manual versus automatic ramps. So you have more of an idea of what type of vehicle and the ramp that works for your family. And then before the application opens, we welcome you to start compiling these documents, just because it can take a little bit of time to figure out what vendors you want to go with. We also tell families that they don't have to be in your specific area. So say Mobility Works in your town or something like that. You can always look a few states over or across the country if you do find a vehicle that's that you like better. But we do take into consideration the shipping costs as well. So just keep that in mind, because that would be included in the total cost of the van when it comes time to purchase it. And then I want to mention again, so the physician letter verifying Duchenne diagnosis. So we do need to have that with the individual's name on it, their birthday, and then showing that they have that diagnosis. And once again, this is only for accessible vehicles. So at this time, we cannot help with vehicle loan payments or modifications to already purchased vehicles. So if you're looking for help with emergency funding or medical equipment assistant, we also have those two branches as well.
And then we do get a lot of questions about, why do we have families put so many quotes together? We do understand that prices will vary depending on, fluctuations in inflation and the economy and all those other things. So we understand that the quotes may not be what the actual cost of the vehicle is once you go to get the vehicle if you are approved in this program. But this is a really good way for us to have families understand what the cost of vehicles is, so that they also understand what the fundraising needs will be when applying to this program, because it is a fundraising program and you will have to raise half or more of the cost of the vehicle. So having a good understanding of what the actual cost of a vehicle is when applying to this program is a really important piece. So that's why we ask for those vendor quotes, so that families are doing that due diligence and having that understanding. It's also a really good a way for us to connect with vendors that maybe we haven't connected with them in the past, and educate them about our program and see if there may be any ways that we can partner with them in the future or for that specific van. So just wanted to have for everybody to have an understanding as to why we ask for these quotes, because we understand it is a lot of work. But it's also a good way to see that one dealer may have one price and one dealer may have another price. So searching and being able to be flexible on not a specific dealer is important to understand as well.
Awesome. I do want to point out or talk about the question that said if
Sure. So the waivers approved assistance for modification for 2024, I would just confirm that they also will approve for 2025. So I would reach out to whoever your contact is with that program. Depending on the state and depending on the program, sometimes it will not carry over into 2025. But I would just confirm with whoever your contact is and get it in writing that the approval for that assistance and whatever that amount is would carry into 2025.
Yes, and like Alex said, since you are, or you get the email that you are approved into the fund is going to be being sent out in January 24th. So if you did get that email, you could always let them know if they ask them, they can extend it to the following year. So like she said, but they are very, depending on who you're going through, they can be very lenient and give you a few more months or give you the rest of the year. So definitely ask for an extension if you do get it for 2024 and ask for it for 2025.
So we do have specific fundraising requirements. Like I said, this is a fundraising program. So we do have some requirements that help us streamline donations and also ensure that all of our donors are properly recorded and thanked throughout the fundraising process. We are a 501c3 organization, which means that we are a nonprofit, and donations are tax deductible for those that are donating to us. So after you're accepted into the program, we will build a fundraising page for you that will be hosted on our main website that all donations will have to go through. So if for some reason you are already using another fundraising platform, that platform would no longer be used, and it would be then transferred directly over to the Jett Foundation fundraising website and platform. We do also have a lot of questions about donating from outside of the United States. Most countries are supported on those fundraising pages, but if for some reason that does not work, we do have another link with instructions on how to get donations directly to a family's page and an account. We want to make sure that all of the funds are also going through that main website, because we don't want a situation where it's going through a family to us. Because that could affect Social Security, it could affect benefits, and we would never want that for a family. So all of the funds would go through our platform directly. We will go ahead and be giving you a fundraising packet for ideas on fundraising. Our entire team is behind you to help come up with those ideas and those out of the box ideas if you need them. and provide one-on-one assistance as needed. You'll be meeting bi-weekly with a member of our team, which is when you can ask all those questions, and we really are here to support you. The use of social media is also highly recommended. So if you are not on social media or not willing to use social media, please consider that when applying to this program, because it is a really wonderful way to assist in the fundraising process. Offline donations, yes, they can send them directly to Jett on behalf of the family. If you're accepted into the program, we will go over that more with you, but it would be sent with a note of who it's for, and a little note about who's donating as well, so that we can make sure that their donations are recognized appropriately.
So after you accept into the program, we just have a few expectations for each participant. So it'll be asked for you to send us your family bio, and that'll be used for a fundraising page that we'll put in the first week after accepted. So just be a few questions from our marketing team. We'll create the family story, and then you'll be using that for your donation page, and also a flyer to help with donations that you can hand out. And it'll have a QR code that'll go directly to your fundraising page. You'll also be required to attend mandatory biweekly check-ins with a member of our Jett Giving Fund team, as Alexis said. So then we just help you with the fundraising process, help you get ideas, seeing what's up with you that week, just trying to keep you on track of trying to get the fundraising done as soon as possible. And I also want to mention that if you are accepted, we do want families to finish their fundraising amount around mid-October, just so we can find a vehicle in a timely manner to get it to you before the end of the year and Christmas, just in case it needs to be converted as well.
You can definitely do it before then, but we hope
Yes.
that all of our families are done by that point of time.
Yes. We do have a Jett Giving Fund Facebook group, so this is great for families to bounce off each other what their ideas are. If they have like a certain fall fest going on, it gives other participants an idea of what they can do for their fundraising, and kind of shows everybody else their process. So we'll invite you to that as well. And it's good for you to get support from your fellow participants throughout the process. Just want to note as well that your original quotes may change. So even if you get them in October or December of 2024, we do reach out to those vendors when the time does come, when you have reached your goal, just because those vehicles might be sold or not in the lot anymore. So you just want to make sure that those quotes are active and that we can purchase that vehicle. So even if it said it was 60,000 going into it, it might change too, depending on what vehicles we find at the time that are available. Let's see. We also want to note that if your final quote comes in higher than your award amount, your fundraising goals may change to reflect the additional funds required. So if you are given 60,000 for a vehicle and you look for a more expensive vehicle, we will require you to fundraise that remaining amount in order to get that vehicle. And then we do ask that you maintain communication with our team. So we'll be checking in to see how you're doing on that biweekly call. And then it also helps us tell your story during and after participation. So please be sure to respond to all Jett staff in a timely manner. So this is important for us to continue to help you throughout the process and get you the van by the end of the year.
And if for some reason someone asked about how long it typically takes for families to reach their goal, it really does vary. We had a family 2 months out, 3 months out, 4 months out. So it really just depends on what the family is able to do in the time frame. If someone is struggling to reach their goal, we do absolutely provide support to those families. We have a plethora of like opportunities to be able to share. We have many people on our team with that experience. So as long as they are willing to be open-minded and take our ideas, we can absolutely support them in that piece.
To answer Suzanne's question, so she said, if the van is more than the quote, can the family pay the difference? So we we don't recommend it. So we don't want the family itself paying the difference. So I mean, if a family member came out, like a sister or a grandmother or mom wants to help, we would say, sure, that would be totally fine. But we don't recommend the family just paying it out of pocket for the difference. We would like to figure out other resources before the family will do that as well.
We want to make sure that families are, set up for success. So we want to make sure that all of the money, because it's not just accessible vehicle funds that families need. We all know that. So there are other things that will happen down the line, and we want to make sure that families have those funds to help later on as well.
Exactly. Perfect. And then Q&A. So, I mean, I have a lot of questions, great questions have already come in, but we accept any other ones at this time. And then over the next few months as well, if you do have any questions, you can reach out to us at the URL above. So Jett Giving Fund at jettfoundation.org. So that email will go directly to that account, and then someone will get back with you within, I would say in a timely manner, within a day or two, if you do have any questions.
And then this is recorded and will be posted on our YouTube at a later date. So if you do want to go back and listen, or if there's anything that you missed, please feel free to go back and take some notes or listen. And if you have any questions after the fact, we're happy to answer them as well. We understand it takes time to process information, and questions come. I have, shower thoughts all the time. So, the questions just come when they come. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Jett Giving Fund at jettfoundation.org. What happens if the family is not able to raise the fund? We will talk with each family about that. If they are accepted into our program, we talk about that at the beginning of the process. What I will say is that we definitely support all of our families in this program, and we do everything that we can to get them a van in a timely manner. But again, coming into this program, understanding the amount of work that it's going to take to raise the funds and being realistic about what that looks like is important when applying to this program. It does not affect SSI. That's the whole reason we have people fundraise through our Jett Giving Fund platform, through Jett Foundation's website, so that no money is going directly to families that could be considered income, so it will not affect SSI. So if a family is accepted into our program, we would not want any money going into the family's account. It would go directly into that fundraising platform.
Mm-hmm. We do have a few questions in the Q&A. So this one said, is there a place for families to describe their situation or tell why they need a vehicle? So yes, there is a spot in the application that you can explain all of that, and that would help your situation when it comes time for the committee to review. So if you give us the more detail you can give us, the better it helps, just so we get your full story. And then how much time should they spend on this portion of the vehicle? I would put a good amount of thought into this, just because this will help you. Like I said, it gives us the full story. It helps the committee understand why you need an accessible vehicle. So I would spend a decent amount of time on that as well. And then I just want to reiterate too, that when you are filling out the application, there is a save and resume later button. So if for some reason you don't have the quotes yet, or you didn't fill out a certain portion that you couldn't get to, you can hit that save button. It'll send a link to your email, and then you just go to that link and resume it when you are available to complete it.
And then there is a question, what are the 3 best tips you can give a prospective applicant? Great question. Communication is key. We've talked about that previously, communicating with our team, but also communicating with the community. That's the best way to fundraise, is communicating. And we can't help you. We don't know what we don't know if you're not communicating with us. Come up with a plan. So in the application, it'll ask what ideas you have for fundraisers. And while the smaller fundraisers are great, like bake sales, selling t-shirts, stuff like that, great ideas, and definitely something that can add to that. But think big, think about those big fundraising ideas and how you're going to be able to pull in a lot of funds. So reaching out to family, reaching out to those that you know in the community, that is huge. You never know who you're going to reach, and you never know who's going to have the funds to be able to support you in this program. And then also, like I talked about earlier, social media, but not only social media, but media outreach such as television, radio. We've had multiple people who have gotten a large amount of donations by telling their story through the media. So being open to that and willing to that is a super critical piece. But like I said, it is a large undertaking. So understanding that when coming into our program and trying to get the best bang for your buck is kind of how I like to put it. So those big ideas where you're going to raise those funds, you might put in a lot of effort, but the end result is going to be great. And I'll give a fourth actually too, is leaning on friends and family to help support you in this journey, because it is something that is a lot, and having the support of a friend who's willing to help you with fundraising or family that's willing to help you with fundraising will go a long way. Is the application process available in Spanish? If you need translation services, please do reach out to us directly. It is not currently available in Spanish, but we can definitely look at resources on how we might be able to assist those families who need that option. So please reach out to us at Jett Giving Fund at jettfoundation.org. And just in case not everybody is reading the chat, can a family member be part of the communication with Jett to help reduce the pressure to parents? As Eric said, absolutely, it is a huge undertaking, and we have bi-weekly meetings with friends that are helping, family that's helping. We absolutely welcome that and encourage that. So yes, absolutely, please, and thank you. The more support, the better. Gosh. Anyway, if anybody has any other questions, we're going to give it another minute. We thank you for being here. We thank you for listening to our webinar and considering applying for our Accessible Vehicle Fund program. Like I said, it is a lot, but if you are willing and able, we are here to support you every step of the way. Is there a limit on the applications accepted during each application period? Yes, there is. So it depends on what our budget looks like that year, but we typically accept anywhere between 12 and 15 vehicles each year. So we do get a large number of applications. We understand that there's a huge need, but we do have a limit that we accept per year. Yes. So that's one of those reasons why expressing need in your application is critical, so that the committee truly understands what the need of your family is. Because there's a lot of need in this community. How long does it take to get approval? So as Julie mentioned, the application will open on October 28th. It will close on December 13th, and application decisions will be sent to families, either whether they're approved or not approved, on January. What was that, Julie?
No,
24th. It's 24th. I didn't have to look at it. January 24th, 2025 is when everybody will be approved or not approved for this program. And then, like I said, it depends on how quickly funds are raised before a family actually gets their van. Also, outside of the Accessible Vehicle Fund program, we do want to say, if you do know anybody that has been affected by the recent hurricanes, please have them reach out to us. If you know anybody that's about to be affected by the most recent hurricane coming up, Milton, please have them reach out. We have the capability to help families. So please have them reach out if there is anything that they need. We are happy to help in any way that we can, help find resources, help them find the things that they need. So if it's not you and somebody you know, please have them reach out to us. You can have them reach out to me directly, alexa@jettfoundation.org. Actually, probably don't do that because I may be affected by the hurricane. So please have them reach out to info@jettfoundation.org, and someone will be reaching out to them very promptly to try to assist in those needs.
Mm-hmm. I also want to mention as well that when you are accepted, we do put on two, I'd say like live Q&A calls during the year. So one of them will be with somebody that'll talk about the accessible vehicles, so side versus rear and what are the options. And we also have another one as well that we set up with past participants. And they'll tell us what worked, what didn't work, and different fundraising ideas as well. So you'll have the support from past participants as well. If you're stuck on fundraising ideas at that time, they can kind of give you a jump start of what worked best for them. Awesome. So if anybody has any more questions, the email is above. So if you find or think of one after this call ends, please email us and we will answer promptly. But thank you so much for joining us. And if you do have any questions, like I said, please email above and have a great rest of your night, everyone.